Good morning, everybody. I'm just sending across a recorded version of the solutions to assignment number 2. We were discussing linear equations in one variable. That's the first type of equations that we are looking at, and this was the first question. You have to when you're supposed to, if you ever get an equation such as this and you're asked to solve it, what it means is you're supposed to find the value of the unknown variable. As you can see over here, there is only one unknown variable, which is x. So let's solve for x. The first step would be to open the brackets by multiplying on both sides of the equal to sign. So remember, it is minus 5 into 3x minus 2 is in brackets. What this means is that minus 5 has to be multiplied with 3x, as well as minus 5 has to be multiplied with minus 2. So minus 5 into 3x will give me minus 15x, and minus 5 into minus 2 will give me plus 10. Remember, the rules of multiplication say that negative into negative will give you a positive value. Positive into positive will give you a positive value. Negative into positive will give you a negative value. And the product of a positive and a negative value is also negative. Now, similar multiplication is also required on the right hand side, because it is 16 multiplied by 1 minus x in the bracket. So again, I'll first do 16 into 1, which is 16, and 16 into minus x. So that's minus 16x. Now I'm going to take all the terms with the unknown variable x to one side. So that's minus 15x and plus 16x. So minus 16x is on the right hand side. When it comes to the left hand side, you have to reverse the sign and it becomes plus. And the constants, all the other constants and values, I take it to the right hand side. So 16 was already here. Plus 10 will go to the right hand side and it becomes minus 10. As you can see, minus 15x plus 16x, the value will be positive x, is equal to 16 minus 10 is 6. Okay, these are typical 2 mark or even maybe 1 mark questions that you can expect. Question is 3 divided by x plus 1 is equal to 6 by 5x minus 1. Now we can try and solve this using cross multiplication. What do I mean by cross multiplication? As you can see, the term 5x minus 1 is in the denominator, or is being divided on the right hand side. If I take it to the left hand side, it becomes a multiplication. So I can write it as 3 times 5x minus 1. It comes to the numerator basically, is equal to 6 into x plus 1, because x plus 1, when it was on the left hand side, it was in the denominator. So when it shifts to the right hand side, it will come in the numerator, or it will be multiplication. Now, as you saw, we have to open the brackets. So 3 into 5x is 15x. 3 into minus 1 is minus 3, is equal to 6 into x is 6x, and 6 into plus 1 is 6. So taking the x terms to the left hand side, I've got 15x minus 6x is equal to 6 plus 3, because it was minus 3 on the left hand side. When it changes sides, it becomes plus 3. So 15 minus 6x is equal to 9x, which is equal to 9. So x will be equal to 9 divided by 9, which is equal to 1. Next in the assignment, we have a word problem which reads like this. The sum of 3 successive natural numbers is 10 more than twice the smallest of them. Find the numbers. So let's see. We first concentrate on 3 consecutive natural numbers. So let the numbers be x, the next number will be x plus 1, and the next number will be x plus 2. The reason I have taken x, x plus 1 and x plus 2 is because they are successive natural numbers, that is, they come one after the other. So if my first number is x, the next number is x plus 1, and the second number will be x plus 2 or x plus 1 plus 1, right? So these are my 3 numbers. Now on the right, we are talking in terms of equations. So there will be a left hand side and a right hand side. So let's see what can we write on the left hand side. It is the sum of these 3 successive natural numbers. So let me write sum of these numbers will be x plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2. So that is the sum of these 3 natural numbers, and we have been told that the sum is 10 more than twice the smallest of them. So if sum of 3 successive natural numbers is the left hand side, on the right hand side of the equation we have got that it is 10 more than twice the smallest of them. Which is the smallest number? X, right? X is the smallest number. So twice the smallest number, and this sum is 10 more than this 2x. So 10 plus 2x, right? Always remember, if you have got this equation, I'm naming it equation 1. If you have got this equation correctly, the solution is the same process as what we have been doing in the earlier sums, right? So read carefully and you will always arrive at the correct equation. On the left hand side I have sum of the 3 numbers. On the right hand side it is 10 more than means plus, twice the smallest of them. The smallest number, as you can see, is x. So twice x or 2 times x. That's how I got the right hand side. And we are saying both are equal. Now simply open the brackets and continue as usual. So you have got 3x plus 3, when I open the brackets on the left hand side, is equal to 10 plus 2x. Taking all the terms with x to the left hand side, I have got 3x minus 2x is equal to 10 minus 3. So I have got x is equal to 7. So remember, the word problems are the same as the equations. Only thing is you have to take a little bit of extra effort to arrive at this equation 1. Okay, so read it carefully, it will be quite simple. Our 5th question is another word problem. Mr. Barnes, who passed away, left 2/3 of his estate to his wife, 1/4 to the children, and the remainder was donated to a charity. So our first assumption is this is the last question of this assignment number 2. It's a word problem again. Mr. Barnes had an estate, and when he passed away, he left 2/3 of his estate to his wife, 1/4 of it to his children, and the remainder was donated to charity. And the value of the remainder amount is given as equal to 100,000 or $1 lakh. So our first step would obviously be to assume that the total value of the estate is X. Now, this total estate, 2/3 goes of the total estate, that means 2/3 of this x goes to the wife. 1/4 of the total estate, so 1/4 times x, goes to the children. And the remainder, that is x minus 2/3 x minus 1/4 x, goes to charity, right? So the total value of the estate minus what goes to the wife, right? So that is, the wife takes 2/3 of the estate, and again 1/4 of the same estate goes to the children, so that's 1/4 x, and this remainder, we have been told, is equal to 100,000, which goes to charity. So there you have your equation right there in front of you, right? You can do it in any manner that you like. So I'm going to take the LCM. 3 into 4 is 12, so that's 12x minus 8x minus 3x is equal to 100,000, which basically means 12x minus 8x minus 3x is equal to 12 into 100,000, which is 1200,000, and 12x minus 8x minus 3x right? So the total value of the estate we had assumed was x, and if you solve this equation you get x equals to $12 lakh or $1,200,000. So you got the value of x, and that is your final answer. So this is the second question that was given in the assignment. I actually saved it for the last because some of you might have found it a little confusing. We proceed as usual. We first open the brackets as much as possible, and then we will group all the x terms to one side. So when I'm trying to do that, I'll get this as 4x plus, remember, it's 2 times in brackets x minus 4, which means 2 is being multiplied by each term. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times minus 4 is minus 8, minus 3 is equal to, on the right hand side again you have 2 multiplied by 3x minus 5 in brackets. So that's 2 times 3x as well as 2 times minus 5. So 2 times 3x is 6x, and 2 times minus 5 is minus 10, minus 1. Now if you notice, this will come up to be 6x minus 11 on the left hand side, and 6x minus 11 on the right hand side as well, that is on LHS as well as RHS. When you have simplified the original equation and you get something of this sort, where your LHS is equal to RHS, this equation then becomes something called an identity. So this equation is called an identity. An identity is a special case of an equation which is true for any value of x. What I mean is, try putting x equals to 2 in the original equation. If you do the algebra, what you will get is 12 minus 11 on the left hand side and 12 minus 11 on the right hand side as well. So, which is true. If you put the value of x equals to 5, you will again see that the LHS is equal to RHS. In fact, if you put any real number for x, such as 1795 or 5.9781, any random real number, if you put it in the original equation, you will find that the LHS is equal to RHS, or that the equation holds. So the answer for this question is, for any value of x, this relation holds, or you can write that this relation is true. So remember, this equation is actually an identity. It is true for any value of the variable. Another example of an identity which you have probably learned in all your school days is, say you have two variables a and b. A plus b whole square you must have learned is a square plus b square. Okay, let me make it a plus or minus b whole square plus or minus 2ab. Now this relation or this equation will hold true for any and every real value of a and b. So equations of this sort are called identities, and if you notice, often the books write it as a 3-line equal to. Let me just make that neater. Yeah. So books, several mathematics books actually write it like this. This triple equal to sign implies that this relation is an identity and it will hold true for any and every real value of the unknown variables. Right? So the answer for the second question is that any value of x, this relation will hold true.